Hey everybody, thank you so much for stopping by and checking these videos out. Really appreciate the support as well as the feedback. If you wish to support the channel even further, check these links down below. The Buy Me Coffee link is up and running, as well as the donation link. I'm in the process of upgrading video and audio to do on the water demonstrations as well as side by side out there. I think that'll be really nice. But without further ado, enjoy the video. This kind of come up in a comment on another video, someone asking about lighter kayaks, lighter pedal drive kayaks. So just my personal opinion, guys. So I'm not saying that there's nothing good out there that's under a certain amount of weight or under a certain price point, but you got to be careful with that. And when you're talking about under 60 pounds, your drives on most of your quality pedal drives are going to run to between 10 to 15, maybe sometimes 20 pounds when you take the seat into consideration, your removable aspects of your kayak. You're talking about a lot of weight. So you don't want to put a pedal drive on, really a 35 or 40 pound kayak. Can you do it? Of course you can. Should you do it? Depending on what kind of water you're on. So if you're out on open water, really busy lake, like we have around here, again, something I would caution you on. Do your research. If you got a paddle shop nearby, demo it. Really get a feel for that. Be objective. Don't be excited to just get on the water. Get a feel for that. Is that the kayak that you think you can get out of the way of something fairly quickly, or you're going to be able to go across the water in minimal effort? You're not going to wear yourself out. Because again, these are all a major investment in my opinion. Budget's a real thing. I get it, but sometimes maybe just waiting a little bit, or maybe even looking at some different transport systems, like a kayak cart, even on a pedal drive system, can really help you out, and you can get a little bit better ease of use with a high quality kayak. But this one here, this is the native Slayer Propel 10. Again, not to be confused with the Slayer Max or the Titan Max, but Propel 10 retails at $22.99. Fitted hull weight, again, everything you see on it, 81 pounds without the drive and the seat. You're looking at 62 pounds. So to me, that, again, I pay attention to the non-fitted weight, everything removed, because that's typically going to be how you're carrying your kayak down to the water and carrying it to a vehicle, transporting it. So 62 pounds with a 400-pound weight capacity. The boat itself also, it's 10 foot long and then 34 inches wide. So you get a wide, short platform. This is going to be for maybe smaller bodies of water. You'll handle lake, obviously, but if you're in wide open water out there in the middle, you're going to be hitting that rudder a little bit more than you would, say, an 10.5, 11 foot. Also, those Maxes are, the hulls are designed a little bit differently than what you see here. This is a little bit more of a rounded setup, which will help a lot, of course, with your wind resistance. Not going to be perfect. Kayak is always going to blow around a little bit in the wind, but these here, you have kind of these curved sidewalls instead of that straight up and down, kind of like you see on the new canoe here. But anyway, here at the front, nice comfort grip handles. You got kind of this what I call Tupperware style lid. It's just kind of a seal, but really, really large tank well, kind of get you guys in there. So you have access to the entire hull. If you want to store rods or fishing gear or dry bags, again, you've got a pretty robust weight capacity to do that on. One thing I love about the native kayaks is they come with scupper plugs. So these here, it's that really large kind of ribbed plug that secures really nicely in there. It seals really great. They use their own scupper plugs because they have their own scupper holes. Native will do a little bit of it's a little larger than your typical scupper hole. So those universal ones don't typically fit very well in there. As always, the Native Propel drive is the star of the show. Nice kind of machined aluminum construction. It does have grease points if you want to do your maintenance on it. All your Propel drives are coming with this indexer that helps line up your prop, so you can go in this little narrow channel, and then this cover can go over the top of it. That keeps your water from sloshing up in your deck You're going to get a little bit of it, but nothing crazy. But without that, if you've ever run these Propel drives without that cover, you'll notice a lot of water coming up in here. And the reason that is the prop on the natives is absolutely enormous. This is the same drive, the exact same drive that propels the Titan 13 footers, the Slayer Max 12s, the 10.5s. It's on this 62 pound kayak. So the difference is obviously not just the boat weight. So the seat is relatively similar, but it is a fixed position seat. So you don't have that high-low adjustment you've seen on the Titans and the Slayers in the past. You do have a padded deck, so it is made to stand up from, keeps you quiet. Nice storage underneath. The seat sits on these tracks, and that is kind of a change that Native has made for this year. In the past, they've had those old kind of plastic consoles that slid back and forth on track on the deck here. They've done away with that and gone more to a higher track mounted system. It opens up that bottom of the seat for storage. I like it. The consoles were hollow. They tend to collect water in them, and they kind of turn into a bit of a weight. Wasn't a big fan of that. I love that they did that. They opened it up a little bit. You can slide. There's a lot of different Plano boxes that you can go under there, store your plastics, additional lures, so on and so forth. Here on the right side, you've got kind of an interesting kind of a cup holder, but it's also a flush mount rod holder as well. You can see that hole there. So it's kind of a dual purpose. It comes kind of angled toward me here, so kind of a front facing 45 degree. Your rudder control is on the left side, so you lefties out there, you may want to consider that. That is not something you can move from side to side. It's fixed. So again, without any kind of crazy rigging and modification, you're going to have to deal with a left-handed rudder. If that's not a big deal to you, great. If it is, again, just kind of know that information there. On the back part here, again, large tank well, nothing crazy like you see on the Slayer Max, but again, big enough to where you can run a tackle crate setup. You got gear track running along the sides, so that helps you secure more stuff down. I've got the rudder here, kind of front and center. Again, nice rudder setup. Boondocks does make the upgraded rudders for those of you that are wondering. A little bit of a longer rudder, maybe a little bit more responsive. The only thing about that is on this one here in particular, the 10-foot, you're going to be playing around with that rudder probably a little bit more than you would some of the longer Native kayaks. I've been on one of these before, and I felt like I was, playing with that rudder a little bit more to keep it straight. It's not as great of a tracking kayak, but again, this is what I would consider a Native. This is kind of their entry-level pedal drive platform. So if you're on a budget, or if you go solo a lot and you want something a little lighter, this is perfect for that. But like I said, if you're on open water, a large lake like we have around here, you got a lot of speedboats going around, it's not going to be as fast, maybe not as fast moving as some of your other platforms on the Native. But again, a lighter hull, you are going to get a little bit of sacrifice there. But nice basic setup. Again, I'm a really big fan of this. It's done really well for us here. It gets somebody out on the water that maybe doesn't want to have a 100+ pound kayak lugging around with a lot of gear. You still have the ability to haul a lot of gear, but also something you can just throw in the back of your truck. It's 10 foot long, guys, in a Native pedal drive. And also with the drive and the seat, you're looking at a hull weight of about 62 pounds. So let me know what you think about this. Do you own one currently? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Maybe some other things you want to see on it. I will show you the hull, because again, I think that's really important on these kayaks. So like I said, you do have kind of a rounded hull, kind of a concave in there as well. So that's also where your transducer mount is. You can mount a really large transducer in there. I'm not sure that I would go side imaging on that, but I mean, I'm sure you can. Again, some of that stuff gets pretty expensive and you will be a little exposed. You do have a really big keel coming off of that. So again, that's going to help you keep, that's going to do two things. That's going to help you track a little bit better, and it's also going to protect that rudder back there, because that rudder will sit right behind that rear keel there. And then a little bit of a rounded keel up front here. I would probably like to see that a little bit more, a little bit sharper. But if you know Native and you know the Slayer and Titan series, they do tend to run a little square on the front end. That gives you a really rigid hull as well. But thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. As always, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate all feedback I get. It's all been positive, obviously. But again, let me know what you think. We'll be bringing you out more of these videos. And again, as it starts warming up, I'm really looking to get out on the water, doing some on-water demonstrations and maybe even some comparison videos for you guys. But anyways, we'll see you on the next one. And thank you so much for tuning in.